The caves in ARK, they need to be explored, but presenting a lot of danger, whether it's the terrain or the creatures that inhabit the caves. There needs to be a good cave mount for you to complete them. And I've got the top 10 creatures as voted for by you. You're right kids, it's Raasclark, and this is indeed a top 10 list of caving creatures, all voted for by you in my community section here on YouTube. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share around, and let's get into it. So in at number 10, the CaproSuka, found in the swamps. And why? Because the Leaper of Waters is good on both land and on water, with a lot of caves having both land and underwater sections. And additionally, it can leap and hold its target in its mouth, making caves filled with Arneos a breeze to run through as you snatch them up one by one. Don't forget, it also drains the stamina of any wild, and being immune to leeches makes some of those swampy caves a little bit easier to manage. But it is slightly on the big side, so you might need some cryos handy for most of the caves, which to be honest applies for most creatures on this list. You shouldn't be tackling any artifact cave nowadays without a cryo, making them far easier than they were a few years ago. In at number 9, the Megalania. Found in a majority of caves, but you will find them in abundance on Ragnarok. It's an obvious one to vote in, having the ability to climb walls and ceilings, in some cases skipping and bypassing entire sections of artifact caves. It's not the greatest in melee and health, but being able to shoot from, you can strategically position the Megalania in spots, giving you an easy advantage against a lot of foes, especially in those caves where there are sheer drops, where you can simply lure dinos to fall to their death. And being a medium-sized creature can traverse most caves without too many cryo issues. In at number 8, the Ravager. Found on Aberration traditionally, but you can also find this on Crystal Isles. And it's certainly great to see this one on the list, being probably one of the best on this list for transport as well, having good stamina, speed, and a 50% weight reduction to a variety of resources. And don't forget they can traverse along zip lines, meaning if you've got some zip lines handy, most caves can be tackled by the Ravager, with it being able to jump as well, and having a great base damage, combined with a pack bonus if you're going in a cave with a tribe, dealing a pretty nasty Nash effect, bleeding out your foes. And being relatively small, it's a great all-rounder. In at number 7, the Dire Bear, found in the Redwoods, has an excellent base damage which you should certainly consider taming early on, as its requirements to tame are honey, which you can easily grab from the beehives. And at full sprint speed is fast as boy, as it's that fast it can outrun a Procoptodon or a Galley. Its damage has a wide area of attack, stretching far in front of it and all the way around to its back feet. And you should certainly be using its secondary attack, being a quite mean and powerful swipe. Combined with its high carry weight, its hypothermic and hyperthermic insulation, and being an omnivore, it's a great dino to take through those caves. But being a medium-sized creature, you might struggle with those smaller caves. In at number 6, the direwolf. Found normally in the snow biomes. Sadly, it has no saddle, but it is reflected with increased health, and is certainly one to consider with high damage, multiplying with a pack bonus, having a great speed and being able to jump makes it a good choice for caves. But above all else, its unique ability to sniff out unopened explorer notes and Palovias makes it a great addition for caves, being able to tell you what's ahead and also being a very small creature as well, guaranteeing you a path through most of the caves. In at number 5, the megalosaurus. Your sleepy cave dweller, but it's worth taming them on Aberration. Why? Because the narcoleptic dino sleeps during the day and awakes at night, being very weaker in the day, but unleashes its power in the dark of night. But on Aberration, the aberrant variants won't sleep throughout the day, meaning they are useful all day round. And is certainly a viable choice, having the best base damage of any dino in the game, that rivals even basilisks and drakes, combined with its gnawing attack, and its ability to pick up dinos in its mouth, great health, stam and weight stats. It's certainly a good strong dino for caves, and will take on ganks no problem. Being a medium to large dino, you might struggle to get through some of the caves. In at number 4, the Denonicus, found on Valguero and can be quite an early game tame if you can manage to steal an egg, and despite its size rivals the largest of dinos in ARK, with a gnashed bleeding effect it can apply and cling onto larger dinos. Combined with its speed, its stamina, its jumping prowess and its climbing ability, it's a great one for caves. Although it has to be said its climbing is quite sporadic, it doesn't climb in the traditional sense, somewhere between a Thyla and a Megalania. In fact, it's more closer to a climbing pick. And also being immune to fall damage, it's a great choice and I'm not surprised to see this up near the top. In at number 3, the megatherium. Surprising entry this one, found in the redwoods, but I'm guessing has been voted so highly because of how tanky it is, but more so its insect killer ability. As you might know, many artifact caves house insects, and as soon as the sloth gets busy, an insect killer buff will be applied, dealing 250% damage and applying 70% resistance to the megatherium, making it a killer machine in insect infested areas. But yes, the only offset is it's quite a large dino, so you'll have to pick and choose when you can use it with cryopods. But I can agree it will ruin insect infested caves. In at number 2, the thighcoleo, found in the redwoods, and I can agree is a good choice for this list, as despite its size is one of the strongest in the game. Having a great melee and gnash effect, dealing some serious damage to its foes, being able to jump precisely, pounce on its creatures and climb vertically anywhere it wants. It's a great all-rounder, especially that jump, as it's much better than the fluffy raptor, and is especially useful for the scorched earth caves, with its gnash effect taking down the rubble golems with ease. And don't forget you can shoot from these too, giving you some breathing room to draw creatures in one by one. And before we get to number 1, here's a special mention to the creatures that didn't just make the cut. And here it is, the most voted for creature for caving. Number 1, the Baryonyx, found in rivers across the maps. It is indeed the ultimate multi-terrain creature. I'm not surprised to see this and would agree for it to be at number 1. Having a great base health and melee, it's the aquatic battle mount, zipping through the water in no time at all, but being able to tailspin and stun lock its foes, with a bonus damage to Sarcos. Being able to maneuver and jump on land, shrunk to a small enough size to complete most caves. It is undoubtedly the best caving creature, but it has to be said, you will find that there are creatures that are more suited to certain caves. Talking in the general sense, this is your top 10 list. I hope you enjoyed this. Do you agree? Drop a comment below, let me know. What more top 10s would you like to see in the future? My name's Raasclark, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and as always, peace out.